Hey there, and thanks so much for joining me for a brand new edition of Partners in Education. I'm Brandon Shope here on NHCS TV, and this is a show that we aired several years ago, but now we're back with a brand new, fresh layout, a new format for you, celebrating and highlighting all of our local community partners in education here at New Hanover County Schools. We have so many amazing partners that we really, rely on day in and day out to assist, and they do such an amazing job for the entire Wilmington community here in New Hanover County. In Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach, all the surrounding areas. We're very fortunate, from the YMCA to Coastal Horizons to everyone in between. We're so excited that we're able to bring this show back here and air it on Spectrum Cable Channel 5, and out there in Carolina Beach as well on channel 191, also on YouTube and online. So let's get right to the show. Joining me first up is Mr. Ryan Estes from Coastal Horizons here in Wilmington. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing real well, Brandon. I hope you're doing fine.
Yes, sir. Doing great, doing great. So we're really excited about, bringing this show back for our viewers here in the county. We have so many great community partners, including Coastal Horizons. I want to just talk to you a little bit about, the partnership that we have here in the district and what you guys do with New Hanover County Schools. If you just want to start out, just talking a little bit about Coastal Horizons. I know that you guys have been around for a long time. You're very integral here in the Wilmington community. Tell me a little bit about the organization briefly and what you guys do.
Absolutely. So Coastal Horizons, for those that are not familiar with us, we're a private nonprofit. We started almost 50 years ago. We'll be celebrating our 50-year mark here in the next few months. Our CEO and president is Margaret Weller-Stargell, so many people know her in the community. And our organization focuses on creating a safer community, a healthier community, and stronger families. And we do that through providing mental health services, substance use treatment services, primary care services, alternative criminal justice services, and crisis intervention services. So there's probably a collective of about 70 types of different programs that we offer, and we're spread out over 57 counties in North Carolina, but we're headquartered here in Wilmington.
Excellent. So you guys you have a lot of coverage, obviously, here in the area. You're headquartered right here, as you just mentioned. Tell me a little bit about, the partnership with the school district as well. How does Coastal Horizons work with New Hanover County Schools?
Sure. So we have several different partnerships where people may know us from. We have school-based counselors. They're licensed professionals in the mental health and substance use fields that are located on different school campuses. We have the Wilmington Health Access for Teens, the WHAT Clinic. It's located on Oleander Drive, as well as they have 4 wellness centers in the 4 public high schools. Partnered with us about 4 years ago, so it's now WHAT of Coastal Horizons. As well as we run an alternative treatment program for some of the more higher needs kids at Lake Forest Academy. So it's just a great way to provide behavioral support services for kids that have struggled in a more traditional classroom setting. We also provide prevention services. So that's family counseling programs. We have Incredible Years, which is an evidence-based model that goes 6 to 12, as well as a different parenting program that goes for older kids called the STEP program. And then we also have primary care services that are located in the 4 high schools. So if your kid has a strep throat or a rash and you don't want to have to take them out and go to an urgent care or see your doctor, they can walk down the hallway, go to one of the WHAT wellness centers, and be treated for primary care services. So lots of different ways that we partner.
Wow, that is awesome. I mean, I knew a lot of those, but I even just learned some stuff myself, right there. I mean, that's awesome, man. So, obviously we are living in, a very challenging era right now. I mean, that's, no secret. I mean, COVID-19 is sweeping the nation, is sweeping the world. It's been a hard year for our entire world, really. Talk to me a little bit about, how that has changed the way that you guys have done business, with COVID-19.
So I've said this probably more times than I want, and it's true, and we're proud about it. But that first week when everything was really starting to get a lot of attention and people realizing they had to change business as normal, we went from about 550 staff that were working in office-based settings to pivoting on a dime and going to a virtual platform. So like many of you guys, we're living by Zoom and Teams at this point. So our therapists are able to conduct mental health therapy appointments with their established clients or with new clients through those platforms. Services that have to be seen in person, some of the medical ones, we still are running a thinned out crew at our offices so people can get in if they don't have technology or that it has to be done in person. But so much of our work is now just done in a virtual setting, and we've really found that it's working.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree. And, even with this interview here, right, for our viewers that, are used to kind of seeing us in the studio and things like that, a lot of things have shifted to Zoom and, virtual settings and things like that, definitely. Tell me, sir, a little bit about, so I know, I was talking with several folks the other day about the services that, we also offer, and services that we partner with you guys. But when it comes to, of course, mental health and things like that, I mean, we're, as we mentioned before with COVID-19, that's made things even more challenging for a lot of families, for children especially. It's the summertime, obviously, school's out right now here in the summer, and but a lot of families are maybe wondering that are watching this, what can I get help with over the summer when the schools are closed? Can you talk to me a little bit about that and what they can do right now in the summer?
Absolutely. So if a family has technology, they have a computer, they have internet, then we would encourage social distancing and to call up our sites. The phone numbers are listed on our website. If they're here in New Hanover, they can call our main office, which is 910-343-0145. And that way they'd be able to get connected to do an intake through a therapist that's on a virtual platform. Some families don't have that. We recognize that that is a luxury for many families, and we're partnering with New Hanover schools to make sure that families have tablets and have internet. And they're working actually really well with us to get those that technology out through the summer. But if a family feels more comfortable or needs to, for whatever reason, to come into one of our buildings, we do have the Oleander office. It's located across from Flaming Amy's. It says "What" on the building. It's 4005 Oleander. They could walk in during normal business hours and be seen for an intake. And then we have several community members that are Latinx. And so if someone needs a bilingual, bicultural provider, that service is located at 609 Shipyard, and similar that they'd be able to walk in and be able to do an intake. We're trying to, even when we're in the buildings, be mindful. So they may be in front of a computer screen, and that therapist is located in a different office with a computer screen, just to make sure that we're minimizing the amount of physical contact that we're having.
Ryan, I think that's excellent, man. You guys are offering so many wonderful resources here in the community, including, as you just mentioned, the bilingual resources for our Latino families. Talk to me a little bit about, so we talked about the resources, but whenever it comes to the warning signs that parents can kind of be on the lookout for, say if they have a student maybe who is struggling, because mental health is so important, as we just mentioned. It's, the resources that you guys and that we're offering are immense. But, whenever they need to find those warning signs ahead of time, what should they be on the lookout for?
It's such a great question, and it's such a personalized and challenging question. So we're really quick to tell parents that you're your expert of your child. And an example is, it's almost like if you've gotten a puppy and they're growing up and they're becoming a dog, you may not notice those subtle changes until someone says, "Hey, you have a dog." If your kid's all of a sudden becoming anxious or depressed and there wasn't this big event to have kind of marked it, you may not be quick to notice it. So things that you might want to look for is your kid spending more time isolating? Have they lost pleasure from things they previously enjoyed doing? Kind of those biological markers. How's their attention? How's their appetite? So those would be some of the things that I would really worry about. And it's challenging. I think one of the things that we're having to kind of reconceptualize is how we use technology to stay connected. So when people become depressed, they don't want to socialize. And oftentimes parents are going to say, you're spending too much time on your screens. You need to get out and be with friends. And we can't do that. And so I think one of the things that parents should start to realize is that it's okay in these times to be connecting with your friends and your families through FaceTime, things like that, because that might be the only way that they can do that right now. But just in general, warning signs is all of a sudden if your child is just starting to shift in a different direction, they're not doing things they previously would have done. And it never hurts to ask a therapist to take a one-time look and to say, hey, mom, dad, I think your kid's in a pretty good spot. This is just being a teenager, versus saying, hey, mom, you're in a pretty good spot, but I think you might benefit from a little additional professional help at this time.
Ryan, I appreciate that, man. Like, I think that those are great things, and that's really going to help our families a lot. Just kind of knowing some of those warning signs to kind of be on the lookout for. And I just want to say, on a personal level, just letting our viewers and any of our students that are watching this know it's okay to ask for help. That is okay. And I've never really admitted this, but now I feel like would be a good time to, is I've struggled with anxiety myself. Since I was about 12 years old, was bullied a lot, in school. Thankfully I got the help that I needed to deal with the anxiety, social anxiety and things like that. But and it still comes up from time to time, and that's something that I think that kids need to know, that it's okay. It's all right to ask for that help, right?
Absolutely. You have some kids that are high achievers. They're really perfectionists. And so they may need that help just as much as the kid that has struggled to be that C average student. And so I think that we're shifting as a generation. We're getting more comfortable talking about mental health. It's normal. If your child had diabetes, you're not going to be scared to tell someone, hey, my kid can't have that. But when we talk about mental health, we oftentimes want to keep secrets, and secrets don't help people get well.
Ryan, that to me was dead on, because you just said secrets do not help people get well, and I found from friends that I know that have struggled with maybe depression or anxiety or substance abuse or any of those things, is that it was that moment when they recognized, okay, I have something that I need help with. They talk to someone about it, and it's just like the chains are being let off of you, and it's just like you're set free. And once you start getting that help, it's like an all new world. I mean, it opens up. It's like the light shines in from the darkness, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome, man. So we'll move on now, Ryan, just to talk a little bit about what are some of the trends that you guys have seen when it comes to mental health, and substance abuse during COVID. Have you noticed that the cases are going up right now? Are they staying about the same? Are they going down? What are you seeing?
It's interesting that oftentimes it takes someone else to point out something, or it takes a crisis to start to seek out services. And because kids aren't in school right now, we've actually seen a decrease in the amount of people accessing our services. So oftentimes our role is that a family has gotten involved with social services and they need support to kind of help the child or the family unit stabilize. A kid's gotten suspended from school. Those kind of situations aren't happening in COVID. Kids aren't really out there, probably out in the neighborhoods the way they were, and potentially getting in trouble with law enforcement. So just in general, we're seeing a lot of kids not getting connected for services, which is concerning, because we know that there's going to be that kind of backlash of that at some point, where all of a sudden all these kids who have been not getting services in a timely manner are just going to end up coming in the fall or the winter, or whenever it's safe to come back into an office. And we're just really worried what's going to happen. So we're encouraging people especially parents, to not wait for someone else to point it out for you to take that action to get your kids into services.
Yes, sir, definitely. I agree with you. My last question here for you, Ryan, is, so we've covered a lot here today, but, when it comes to this partnership, what is maybe the number one thing? I'm sure there's a lot of different things, but what is the number one thing that you really get out of this partnership with the school district here, and that Coastal Horizons gets out of this, the number one valuable thing?
Wow. Number one is just that we know that there's not a lot of access to mental health services. And so by being able to be in the schools, we're eliminating a lot of barriers. Families don't have to take off time from work. We're able to have those direct communications with teachers. So if we're finding, hey, this kid has anxiety and here's some strategies that we're working on, we can partner with the school system to help support those. So I think that those are probably the two biggest things, is that we just have such stronger communications with the school, and we know that we're creating greater access. And that ties back to what our mission is of, creating a healthier, safer community and stronger families. So we're just really appreciative that we're able to do that through having that partnership.
Definitely. Every child deserves to be, happy, healthy, and safe, and you guys are helping with that as well. Ryan, before we go, last thing, real quick, what's the best website that folks can find you guys at, and contact information?
Sure. It's www.coastalhorizons. There's an S at the end of that, .org. And so if you Google it, you'll find us, and there's a lot more that we weren't able to cover. So looking forward for everyone in the community learning more about us.
Yes, sir. Excellent. And anything else that we have about another minute or two left on the time clock. Anything else you'd like to add? Maybe something I forgot to ask, or maybe I just left it out. Sometimes I forget.
No, I think we're good. I mean, we have a host of other programs. We have programs for those who have had sexual assault experiences, people who need home-based family counseling. So again, just checking out that website to find out really everything that we can offer.
Wonderful, Ryan. Thanks again for joining us, sir. Stay safe out there, and thanks for all the work you guys and Coastal Horizons do.
Thanks, Brandon. You too.